little bit of a different goaltending matchup today than we saw in the first two games between these two teams, as Abigail Levy will get the start in goal for New York. Played her college hockey right down the road at Boston College, making her 6th appearance of the season. You see the numbers, not bad, certainly at 917 save percentage. Schroeder's been as good as anyone in the league. And on the other side, Emma Soderberg gets the start for Boston. Soderberg, who came in relief on Wednesday in the third period, Courtney Kessel talked about just wanting to spark her team a little bit. And she was very good, made 11 saves on 11 on shots, I should say, and she gets the start today. And this is one of those challenges of you got a lot of really good goalies who are maybe not playing the majority of the games. Both these teams feel like they have a 1A and 1B.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not really a backup per se, like you were talking about. It's two goalies. I mean, when you look at the goalies for New York, Corinne Schroeder and Abby Levy, both national team goalies for Team Canada. Those are goalies that play with each other and fight for ice time on the national stage, and they also do it here with New York. And for the Boston side of things, Emma Soderberg did start the first game here against New York. She got pulled after a little bit of time, 22 minutes into that game, and her numbers have been a little bit skewed ever since then, but it wasn't for a bad effort on her part, really. It was a slow start for Boston in that first meeting, and you got to assume coming into this one she's going to look a little bit sharper. And hopefully for both of these teams, both of their head coaches just talked to us before the game and said they want a full 60-minute effort. They felt like that's been lacking at times for both squads.
So Rattray plays it across as we get started here on this Sunday afternoon, and now New York comes out with it. So again, we talked about it, we kind of alluded to it. Boston kind of out-shooting New York about 34-22 on average in the first two games. But again, New York is the team that scored first in both of the first two matchups and got out and won both of those games, as this is sent down the other way, and icing is called as Shelton is back to get it. Hit off the skate of Shelton, and it's picked up by Bourbonnais. This is right in front. Downey Landry tried to get a stick on the puck, but it ended up squirting away into that far corner. And now Hillary Knight is after it the other way for Boston. So again, Boston is in the home green sweaters today. New York in the road whites. This is on for Fracken. Her shot in, looking for a tip with Toppany cutting across, but couldn't quite connect on it, and it's back out to center. Mentioned Jade Downey Landry's hat trick the first time these teams met back in January. Here's Eldridge in on the backhand, and the first chance is stopped by Soderberg. Centering try in front, comes all the way through. Chloe Arard picks it up. Goes to the far dashers, got the shot away, and Soderberg fought it off. Johanna Feldman plays it in deep. And it's picked up behind by Toppany, who was involved in the first ever trade in the PWHL, came to Boston a couple of weeks ago, and now being paired with Alina Mueller and forcing Mueller out to the wing. But Courtney Kessel talked about it with us today. She's really embraced that role, and they're pretty happy with what they have with that combination.
Yeah, it's
played forward. Arard is right there, and then actually got a second effort on it, and it just missed wide. Puck is still loose in front of the net. No one's on it. Backhand try with a great chance coming in by Taylor Baker, and now Boston comes out with it. Numbers here back. Shirley makes a nice move, but then got forced to the outside by Zandy Hart.
It's nice to see Shirley back in the lineup as well. She was out for a few games with injury, stepping right back in, taking more minutes.
There was Vespa's try that just missed wide, so good, lively, open ice action here in the first 3 minutes. He had a little bit of pressure on her from Alexandra LaBelle as Boston tries to dig it out of their own end. Boston in 4th place, 18 points overall in the standings. New York is at 16 points on the year. One more game played.
And we talked to...
It's turned over. Myron's shot was blocked and then ran over her own defender. It's caught up on the near wall.
When you talked to Courtney Kessel earlier today about the playoff race and the gold plan, which is supposed to prevent tanking, she said, I don't know if that's even going to come into play this season. It could come down to the very last game before we really know who the 4 playoff teams are. Saulnier never really had a look on goal. That was a good job by DiGirolamo to come back into the play and knock that puck into the corner. Not a good forecheck here by New York in the early going. Yeah, strong presence there, not allowing Boston clean exits from their zone that's really how they beat Boston in the first game. They were able to force several turnovers in Boston's own end of the ice. That's what happened for 2 of those 3 Jade Downey-Landry goals. They were just turnovers on the way out of the
Centering
zone.
pass, it bounces in from underneath the goal line. That's why you just throw it on, kids, and Brandt will take it for a 1-0 Boston lead.
So Hannah Brandt, her 3rd goal of the season. That's what happens when you throw pucks to the net, right? Sometimes you get those bounces, and Brandt is such a strong player. You see her, she throws it from behind the goal line, and this is intended to be a pass out in front. Nobody was really there though, so she based it in off the back shoulder.
I think it might have deflected off the stick of Levy and then hopped up, as you said, off the shoulder and goes in. So for Hannah Brandt, that's her 3rd goal of the season and 4th point. Her 1st goal scored since February 14th against Toronto. And Boston, they got to feel like finally for a change, scores first and gets out
their way.
Play ahead of the game. So it is a 1-0 lead. Brandt gets credit for the goal. It's 4:03 into the first period. And on the far wall, and that came after a couple of good shifts on the forecheck, it felt like, for New York.
Yeah, once Boston got into their own end of the ice, though, they were looking to cycle the puck, and like you said, just weird bounce, but it starts with getting out of your own end, and that's what they were able to do on that last shift.
This one goes all the way through. Levy will guide it to the near side, but good pressure here by Boston, and Gable nearly had a stick on it as Emma Woods is forced to play it back into the corner. Really good pressure by Lauren Gable, who's played well of late for Boston.
Gable has been so versatile. She's played on the top line, 2nd line. Now she's here with the 3rd line for Boston today. And she came out scoring. She's had a little bit harder time recently, but I think Courtney Kessel may have changed her lines more than any other coach in the league so far. She told us it's because she has so much firepower to work with that she's always been rotating it around, though she wants to settle on lines to build chemistry. And she thinks she has something with this top line of Mueller, Tapany, and Knight.
So Sydney Morin back to get it for Boston. Fluttering pass to center. Trey knocked it down, but Johanna Fellman turning it back the other way for LaBelle, who knocks it in. New York will change. 6 minutes gone here in the first period. Pelkey could quite grab it on the wall. Pressure here from Zandy Hart. That shot got blocked by Pelkey. Still alive, though, as Abby Rock comes in, trying to throw it towards the net before it got knocked down by Emily Brown. Rock is still on it. Center and try. May have got tipped before it ended up on the near side. That was Peyton Levis who had the opportunity. Another chance from the outside from Baker. That gets sticked aside by Soderberg. Big hit by Pelkey on the near side, and a penalty is coming up.
Well, this
and a
might
little
be
extracurricular after the fact. So our first penalty of the game goes against Boston here, and you'll see it with Pelkey. It's that 2nd push into the boards, and she gets called for boarding, which will send this very good New York power play to work for the first time.
Yeah, and Pelkey, she was frustrated during that shift. She actually got hurt blocking the shot. Her hand was sore the whole shift. She was trying to play physically against Rock, but went too far, got the boarding call, sent her on to the power play.
New York, who scored 3 times on the power play on Wednesday against Montreal. That was the most of any team in a game this season. They're 2nd in the league overall behind Ottawa at over 23%. Carpenter down low for Rock, and Alex Carpenter tied for the league lead in points. Flutters a pass for Shelton, a little bit of space, waits and shoots, and that is blocked aside by Soderberg. Shelton is a really valuable defense piece on this power play. Had a good look at it there with Carpenter patiently waiting. Here's Eldridge, throws it on. That's a good save by Soderberg in good position with the right path. And now cleared to center. There is Brandt, who has a shorthanded goal this year. Thought about taking it towards the net, but Bourbonnais with a really good job to prevent her from getting towards the crease.
For New York, you'll see a lot of ice time for the top unit. That unit with Shelton, Carpenter, Rock, and Eldridge. They are all top 10 in power play time on ice in the league, and that second unit just doesn't see quite as much time, and Coach Draper told us that's mainly because you want to have Carpenter out on the ice, that the firepower on the first unit is too dangerous to really take time away from them.
There is Jaguar. Plays it down the wall. They actually did switch out some bodies here more than they usually do with 32 seconds remaining on the penalty time. And it's knocked out to center by Gigi Marvin. So good kill for Boston so far. 2 shots officially for New York as we wind down to the final 20 seconds of the player advantage. Downey Landry goes wide with it, and New York will start in. Jaguar comes underneath the goal line. Circling with a tip, looking for Woods. Couldn't quite connect on it. But maybe a little bit of a bad break there as that clearance went into the Boston bench, so the faceoff will come back inside the zone to Soderberg's right. Shelton will get a chance off a faceoff win. Plays it down low for LaBelle. Waits, centers up, and it's underneath the stick of Bourbonnais. And then right at the penalty box, Pelkey nearly had an opportunity to go the other way, but couldn't quite control it. And New York comes back in, so good kill for Boston. And we remain 1-0 in favor of the home team, despite 3 shots on goal from New York on their first power play chance. Megan Keller starts it out. Tapani comes over for Hillary Knight. 2-on-1 back. Knight waiting, throws it across. It got knocked down. It was still loose, and a penalty's coming up. So Megan Keller, following the play, had a pretty open lane to that puck, which kind of sat loose in the slot. And Vespa really didn't have a choice there. It's actually Packer who's the one who's going to be called for the penalty.
Yeah, Knight takes the original shot, and it doesn't make it all the way to goal, but you see Keller following up the trailer on that play, trying to jump on a loose puck that came back out off the pad of Levy, and she just gets taken down from behind.
So a chance now for the Boston power play, which it just feels hard to believe with all the talent on the ice that this power play has not struck as much as it has all year. 0 for 21 over the last 9 games for Boston. Knight throws it towards the net. That is blocked by Zandy Hart, and it's knocked out to center on this power play, which is brought to you by Royale Tiger Towel.
You talk about the personnel on this power play for Boston and how effective and deadly they are. Not only do they have some of the best shots from Keller and Knight, they also have some of the best playmakers in the league on this top power play unit with Mueller and Tapani.
Here comes Mueller in to make it a little bit of adjustment with Marvin out there in this group. There's Keller, throws it in with the tip try, and then Marvin got a second chance at it, and Levy made 2 saves.
One of the adjustments Coach Kessel told us she's making on the power play today is putting Gigi Marvin out in front of the net and putting Knight on a flank to just try to give her more time with the puck on her stick.
Here's a chance for the jailbreak with Vespa. Back in, that got up high on Soderberg, and she fought it off with the left shoulder. Remember, if you're new to the PWHL, one of the rules this year in this inaugural season is if you score a shorthanded goal, it ends the power play and releases your player from the box. So it adds a new dimension, which has been really fun to watch. Here is Morin. That's a tough angle. Levy did get it, sliding to her right, though. Knocked down by Lauren Gable and keeps it in. DiGirolamo plays it off the wall near side. Shirley back for Gable. A little bit of space on the opposite side, but Saulnier did a good job to get her stick in the passing lane. 27 seconds remains on the penalty time. Morin walks it down for Gable. This unit's been out there for a while. That shot's in. Rebound try. Oh, what a save by Levy! Diving across to take away a wide open net. And another chance for DiGirolamo off of a great chance for Boston. Here is Morin. Walks down with 5 seconds remaining on the penalty time. Morin will cycle around. Thrown towards the net by Shirley. And the penalty is out. Even strength hockey as DiGirolamo comes in, tried to throw his shot towards the net, but Hobson blocked it in behind.
It is hard to believe that power play hasn't scored, just watching the opportunities they got just in the first 40 seconds of that power play.
There's such a fine line between pressing and gripping your stick too tight, wanting to change things, and trusting the looks that you are getting, because it does feel like Boston is getting them, but they are now 0 for their last 22 on the power play, despite 3 shots on that sequence. And it did take an all-world save from Levy to keep it that way.
I believe that save went off her and off the post as well, so got a little help there too.
This is whistled down for icing, so we'll go back the other way, and we'll take a look at that chance here with 7:54 remaining in the first.
Here's that really great opportunity on the power play. Rebound comes out to Shirley. She's able to put it back on goal. This should be a better angle to see where that hit. Yeah, it looks like Levy dove across, and we'll get a chance on the overhead as well. I think it did hit the post too, so.
Clean off the post, right? Tough to tell on that wide side.
It's just that close for Boston, but that's been the story of the season on their power play.
Put the pressure on, though, after the power play expired. Off a face-off win. Kraken's pass for Keller was a bit behind her. 7:44 remaining here in the first period, and Boston's lead is 1-0. Keller works it around again, throws it towards the net with a tip in front. Levy just got a piece of it. There's Hillary Knight coming across on the screen. Wide for Woods. Scored a goal in this building the last time these two teams played to give New York an early first period lead. Gerard pinned in, centered up for Downey Landry. Has to circle around and go back to Bourbonnais. Uses the wall for help as Woods gets to it ahead of Healy. Boston back on possession now. Off the pass from Knight, but Woods is back on it. Downey Landry strikes it forward. Back and forth hockey here in the early going, and that is turned over for Abby Rock. Her backhand pass, nobody really on the back end of it. Against the wall, shipped out to center. Boston back on their home ice today. This, in fact, is their only home game between February 21st and April 18th, when you include the international break that's coming up, as well as just a lot of home games so far, and only a few more left in the regular season.
Welcome back here to the Tsongas Center. I'm here with New York head coach Howie Draper. And Howie, strong start for Boston. They've been able to have a little bit of push since that power play. How do you like your start, and what's it going to take to counter them?
I actually really liked our start. I thought we were able to establish a little bit of ozone time, and you know, unfortunately a goal went against us that maybe was unfortunate for us. So we just got to get back to our game plan, get the puck in deep, create a little bit more time in their zone, and get pucks to net. We should be okay.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
I think the quality scoring chances so far have, if you're talking about the top scoring chances, probably were Boston's power play. New York's still looking to get some of those really high quality chances, high danger chances out in front. But they haven't, like I mentioned, they haven't getting players to the net. If you just thread a pass through there, set yourself up for success.
Pass wide for Knight, throws it on. Kick save made by Levy. Off a good setup by Tapani to the outside. So 5:27 remaining here in the first period. A 1-0 lead for Boston on the goal by Hannah Brandt. Her third of the season, with Jamie Lee Rattray getting an assist. Sixth assist of the year for Rattray. That is brought in onside, and a save by Levy. Rattray trying to get back to get it with good pressure from Giguère. Where it came from is the captain, Zandy Hart. It hit off of her stick, picked up right in front. Good save, Levy. Welcome you back to the Tsongas Center. Another great crowd here on a Sunday afternoon to watch New York and Boston. And Boston with the early lead, 1-0. I think Boston's got to be pretty pleased after absorbing those first couple of minutes from New York. As you said, they've really had quite a few good scoring chances here of late.
Well, since the penalty kill, they've gotten more opportunities on goal than New York has now, 10-6 in shots. And
That
New
one
York
kinda
came out
floating in.
New York came out with, you know, leading in shots the first 5 minutes, but it's been Boston recently.
It's been really good behind the net, nearly set it up again, but a good play by Abby Rock to read it. You figure New York will have to adjust a bit as Boston has played really well below the goal line. That's turned over and a left pad save by Levy on the try from Rattray.
Well, that's the kind of stuff they need to clean up out in front of your own net. You never want to turn over a puck there in the slot. You give Rattray a good chance, maybe just a little bit more patience. Don't shoot that right away. Have a second to set yourself up for a better look, but 2 tries by Rattray in this period that have almost gone.
And really, you just credit the chances of that whole group of Schaffsel, Pant, and Rattray. Here is Fracken who comes down. That's a stick save and up to the netting from Levy.
It seems like New York is now, it's them that's the team that's having trouble getting out of their own end. Boston has controlled possession and their end of the ice, haven't allowed easy exits, and that's why they've been controlling the offense.
And again, we mentioned it off the top. This has been the way that the first 2 games have gone, with Boston having controlled the shots, even though they haven't won a game in this series so far. But just a massive difference to be able to play from in front. Keller throws it, looking for a high slot tip, got it, but Levy made a good save. I believe that was Tapani who got the tip. And here comes Alex Carpenter. A ton of touches yet for Carpenter, except on that 1 power play. Boston's done a pretty good job of limiting New York's top line. They come back the other way, floating a pass forward for Keller. It was too far for her, and she picks it up in the run of play. Hillary Knight near side, throws it across, save Levy, stretching out the right pad.
Great pass through the top of the crease here. We'll get a chance to see this setup. This is the top line once again for Boston, and like I said, some of the best playmakers. This time it's a backhand pass by Knight over to Mueller on the opposite side, and she's just not able to lift it over the glove of Levy, who does a good job sliding over and taking away that shot.
I know she's not going to feel like it because of the way that the goal was scored, again, from below the goal line, kind of knocking off her back, but Abby Levy's done a pretty good job on it. These are some grade A scoring chances of the 6 that Boston's had so far.
Well, if you talk to any goalie, you can't really fault them on a shot that they didn't see from behind. That's kind of one of those weird bounces that you don't expect to happen, and it doesn't happen very often, so I'm sure any goalie says, oh, I want to have that one back, but that one was really tough.
D'Arcangelo plays it around. Bourbonnais keeps it in for New York. Makes a nice move, throws it on. Soderberg the save. First one in a while she's had to make, and a good one. On for Baker. There's the pass across. Back for Bourbonnais, one-timer. Slapped it, just missed the net wide. It's a good setup by Packer to get the chance for Bourbonnais, who had been in deep. She's got it again off the wall. Nice moves for Packer to pick it up down low. A little Vespa on it now for New York. Now Boston comes out to center with it. 2:13 remaining here in the first period. A 1-0 lead for Boston on the goal by Hannah Brandt. Gigi Marvin back in to get it. Talk about someone who's been all over the lineup card. Gigi Marvin, we've seen her on defense, we've seen her on the wing. She's starting at 4th line center today, and as you mentioned, where she was inserted on the power play today, trying to change up the looks there.
Now she's your net front on your top power play. She can do anything. When I talked to Courtney Kessel earlier in the season when they had decided to move her back to D, I said, is that matchup dependent? She said, well, if we're short on D, we might need to throw her in there for 1 game, but once Shirley got injured, they decided to move her back to forward, and they wanted to add center depth, so right now she's the 4th line center.
Sandy Hart plays it across. Shelton's pass was tipped with O'Rourke cutting in front. Woods keeps it in. O'Rourke is down behind the play. Puck actually came right towards her. She's a little bit slow to get up and will come to the bench on the near side. Shelton holds it in for New York. Before Boston now will bring it out with Pelkey. Shots right now are 15-7 listed in the building in favor of Boston. The score 1-0. To the left of Tapani off of a face-off win. Got it back to Megan Keller. Here is Fracken straight on. Slap shot using the wall for a tip in front from Tapani. quite get it on goal. Levy in good position as we go under a minute here in the first period. Knight comes away with it. Centering pass and a penalty coming up. So Zandy Hart had to get her stick in with Tapani coming across. And that's just a forecheck creating a power play chance there if you're Boston.
Yeah, and it's moving your legs. Tapani is trying to get to the puck first, trying to get to an area of the ice where she can score. And Zandy Hart knows that she's a little bit behind her on this play. So what does she do? She reaches her around with the stick and she hooks her up high in the hands. So it's an easy call there. The official sees it all the way. Boston back to the power play after having such a good one. Maybe they can build off that.
Power play brought to you by Royale Tiger Towel. Second one of the game for Boston. 3 shots on the first. Here is Knight. Tough angle with 37 seconds remaining in the period. So this will wrap around if Boston does not score. They can probably keep this top unit out there the whole way. Keller plays it across for Knight. Her shot is tipped away by Levy. From near side, Mueller picks it up. 23 seconds remaining. Tapani waiting again. Down low for Mueller. Sets up Marvin, and that just hopped over the net. Knight picks it up on the wall. Here is Keller with 11 seconds remaining in the period. Megan Keller plays it across. Knight one-timer. It was out in front. Couldn't get good wood on it before it was guided to the corner.
Good job
Final
by Marvin.
second. Got to get it on, and that'll do it for period number 1. Abby Rock, nice enough to join us. Abby, take us through that period. It felt like you guys had a pretty good forecheck early on in the game before that goal goes in. What were your thoughts on that first period?
Yeah, I mean, I think we started strong, and with the power plays and penalty kills, I just think we didn't use them the way we needed to. Even coming off the bench, we needed to make more out of it. Wasted some time there on 5-on-5. So hopefully in the second we can get going back on that.
I know you like to get to your physicality early and often. How have you felt the tenor of this game has been in terms of physicality so far?
I think it's been okay. I think the physicality's been good. I think there's been some stick stuff that I would like the refs to watch, but we'll see how that goes as this game goes on.
And to that point, how have you felt about your special teams?
Our power play's been awesome all year, obviously. I think last game was really good. We needed to produce on that one we got, but our PK2 has been a strong point for our season. So I think our special teams are great. We got to work on scoring 5-on-5.
All right, thank you, Abby.
Of course.
So Boston at least has set up pretty well on the power play so far. I know it hasn't gone in yet. For a Boston power play that is trying to find the back of the net for the first time in 23 chances. Right down low, Mueller trying to hack at it, but a good job by Taylor Baker to get his stick in and forced it to the corner. LaBelle knocked it to the line, but Keller holds it in. Here is Keller, throws it near side for Hillary Knight. Pass across was knocked down by Vespa and cleared.
Knight trying to go across to Tapani, and the pass just gets picked off. There was a lot of coverage right there in the slot. They were taking away that cross-ice pass.
So Mueller will start up once again. Again, the one benefit, even though you never love to have the power play overlapping a period, is you get to have your first group out there the whole time. As Knight digs it out here. Megan Keller walks the line, plays it over to Tapani, got it right back for Keller. Throws it on, glove down by Abigail Levy, getting the start today for the 6th time this year for New York. And here is Brown, who comes down the wall, leaves it for Shirley. Her shot in, tough angle. That got deflected somewhere and knocks to the far corner.
I'm not sure Levy saw that. It hit her positional save for her, but it looked to confuse her a little bit.
One thing that we have seen on both of Boston's power play attempts is they have followed the power play really well with chances on goal.
Yeah, they have, and it's because the power play has created momentum for them. It's been a strong point for them in this game. I know they don't have a goal on the power play yet, but you can see it buzzing. You can see the offense getting going.
Here's Lauren Gable, sets up as a 3-on-1, and Levy shuts the 5-hole. Kind of emerged out of nowhere, but all of a sudden there were 3 green sweaters out ahead of anyone for New York. And here is Rattray, knocks it into the backhand. Girolamo couldn't hold the line, so we reset at center. 2+ minutes into this second period. Rattray tried to get a stick on it. It's out for Healy at center. And knocked in. DiGirolamo. Good forecheck here for Boston. That got knocked down off of Grant's chance. Again, this group with Grant and Rattray and Schopsel out there have been really effective on the forecheck, creating chance after chance for Boston. They've stood out above anyone in this game so far.
Well, what you saw from them on that last play was Brant forced a turnover, then they opt for the dump in and just make the simple play, get the puck deep, chase it down, win the board battle, and Brent did so.
And a chance on a breakaway for Pelkey, saved by Abby Levy. And the difference in this game is the score from the first two meetings, but the way that it's been played is actually fairly similar to what we saw in the first two meetings.
Yeah, it is. You look at the shots on goal, it's 19-7. That's more than Boston was out shooting New York at this point last meeting, but you see the quality chances too. It's not just quantity for Boston in this game.
Here is Hillary Knight, tries to get around. Knight comes center, actually made contact with Hobson there, as Hobson did enough to force Knight behind without the opportunity on net.
And I'll tell you, it was Schroeder that was frustrating Boston the last two meetings, but Levy doing much of the same. It's our first time seeing Levy in net, but she really has held it down.
Tapani gives it back to Mueller, stops, has space, and shoots up high and missed it too tall.
More physicality away from the puck to a Packer going at it with Brown.
It's almost like a basketball stop and pop. All of a sudden it was wide open for Mueller. Just missed it a little too high. Stick is down on the ice on the near side as that pops up in the air. And at center, Rattray takes it away for Boston. Rattray to center, that got deflected over the bar. And again, it's this Rattray, Schopsel, and Brant line. Forced out of the zone here as it came off the stick of Emily Brown.
Yeah, Brown just mishandled the puck there at the blue line, and that ended that offensive possession. She had a tough shift though. She got taken down right in front of the Boston net, kind of out of the view of our monitors, but she took a big hit.
Right back in, on it is Brant. Baker sliding across, knocked it out to center. This is untouched, and Boston wins the race for icing.
So we'll take a look at some of the good opportunities recently by Boston. This is the shot by Lauren Gable. She looked like she was going 5-hole. One of the defenders did get a piece of it on the way through, and then Pelkey found herself on a breakaway, looked to go to the 5-hole as well, but stopped both times by Abigail Levy.
It looked like on that last deep, the puck just started to roll a little bit. Maybe couldn't get quite as good a look as she was hoping for.
A lot of good chances for Boston, but the finish wasn't there on those two plays.
So shots on goal are now 19-7, all three in this period, and that one right under the stick of Gable. All three shots on goal to Boston here in the second. Defensive play by DiGirolamo. One thing that Boston has done is they have totally taken out this top unit of Carpenter and Eldridge and Jade Downey Landry. We called their name a bunch of the power play. Maybe a chance here, though it's too far in front of Jade Downey Landry. And Soderberg covered. That one comes through to center, bouncing puck. Sandy Hart did have a piece of it before it's out to center, and here comes Tapani back for Boston. Makes a move around, but lost her footing, and a penalty's coming up. So that little move to get to center will send Boston to the power play for the third time today. So Jamie Bourbonnais called for a tripping penalty, which will send Boston to the power play for the third time today. Bridget, they have 5 shots, but again, still have not found the back of the net.
It's been a deadly looking power play, the way they've been able to move the puck and get presence out in front of the net.
Here is Mueller, sets up right in front, another good save by Levy. As Tapani had a great up by Mueller, who is back on it now for Boston.
Levy has her stick Now she grabs it. Carpenter helped her out there.
Did a really good job to guide it back to Levy after she had to make a lunging save. Another chance, Tapani. That one was blocked high by Abby Rock and knocked out to center.
Rock makes a good anticipation and clear on that play, but Boston, that Tapani chance, one of their better opportunities on the power play. Great setup from behind the goal line, back out front from Mueller to Tapani.
Vespa takes it away. There is Vespa back in shorthanded. Keller uses that long stick. Vespa still got a shot in though, and Soderberg had to make the save. It springs Boston back 3-on-2 if they go quickly. Mueller plays it across for Knight. Good save, Levy again. Gigi Marvin picks it up. 57 seconds remaining on the penalty time. Keller's pass for Mueller was underneath her stick. A touch of miscommunication there, but Mueller keeps it in. And the power play remains alive. Knight plays it across. Pass from Mueller, though, was taken away as it got caught in the skates of Alexandra LaBelle, who knocks it out to center. It's a 2-on-1 back for Hobson, who hit the post.
Wow, that was almost a jailbreak goal right there by Hobson.
Yes, it was. 3-on-1 back for Boston. Rattray is somehow denied. Lauren Gable picks it up, and that is held by Levy.
Only 22 seconds left on this power play, but Boston has really been able to do a lot with it. As we see this chance from Mueller back out front to Tapani, diving forward, Levy making the stop, and then on the rush, more recently, Rattray goes to the backhand, can't lift the puck. It ends up in the pads of Levy. Another good stop.
So DiGirolamo now off another face-off win for Boston. Final seconds of the penalty time. One-timer more and up high, Levy to save. That one was whistled down and came loose to the near side. It was cleared down anyway. So the face-off will stay in the New York defensive end. 7 seconds remaining on the penalty.
That was a very quick whistle, as we'll get a chance to see. She did have it for a moment, but it pops back out. Shelton finding it quickly and clearing it away from Shirley, who was right there trying to grab the puck. But either way, it wouldn't have worked in Boston's favor. It would either been, it was going to be an ozone face-off no matter what the outcome was.
Yeah, actually, in fact, it ends up being a bad break for New York.
Exactly, a bad break for New York. They would have had the clear. Probably would have killed off the rest of this power play. Only 7 seconds left.
Face-off win for Boston. Gable comes to get it, gives it to, that's up high from DiGirolamo, and again it's fought off by Levy. So even strength hockey as we play on. DiGirolamo's shot got caught in the skates of Ella Shelton. D'Arcangelo reaching forward as we're back to even strength. So somehow, Boston is 0 for 3 on the power play despite 9 shots on goal. On the power play specifically, 0 for your last 24 over now 9+ games. Against New York, you have consistently outshot them by this margin. And again, today you're playing with the lead, but it is just not going in. But it's so hard to feel like you need to change anything.
Well, you look at it, what adjustments would you make to the power play that they had so far? They've made the adjustments already today to have Gigi Marvin net front, as well as Mueller on the wing. They've made some good adjustments.
DiGirolamo throws it on. Tapani got a piece, then throws it. That hit the back of the pad of Levy, but it didn't go. 2 really good chances there. One on the first rush, and then on the second one by Tapani to throw it, trying to do the same thing they did earlier, right?
That's what I was going to say, trying what produced the goal by Hannah Brandt earlier in the game. Try to catch Levy, look in the wrong direction, bank it off for an in.
Tapani set up once again. Moves on for Healy. Got knocked down in the high slot from Knight. And then contact there, and a penalty's coming up. So Hillary Knight got caught on the hit with Emma Woods.
1-0 Boston here in the second period. We're joined by Boston head coach Courtney Kessel. And Courtney, the power play looks like it's buzzing, but it still hasn't been able to score.
Yeah, I think we're doing a lot better at getting the puck to the net and getting opportunities, so I think we just got to bear down and put one in.
Any adjustments you're looking to do with that, or just trying to stay patient with the same unit?
Yeah, I think we got to stay patient. The opportunities are there.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Works on to the point, and here is Bourbonnais. Again, New York trailing by a goal. Ella Shelton retreats from Brandt. Bourbonnais steps up in the pass, and Alex Carpenter. Bourbonnais once more, centering pass for Eldridge, just missed wide. Missed everything, in fact. As Carpenter comes away to play it, that got caught in the skates of Gerard. And here comes Gerard shorthanded. Good job by Carpenter, though, to get back into play.
You know Carpenter wasn't just going to let up a clean break there. She's somebody that was going to battle for that puck down to the last second. So Hannah Brandt, who does have a jailbreak goal already and can go on those shorthanded breakaways, was not going to get past Alex Carpenter there.
It is interesting because we talk about that rule in terms of being able to get rid of the power play chance. But when you send players, now all of a sudden you get more and more opportunities back the other way for the team on the power play that you have to really be aware of.
It creates more rushes on the power play, whereas it's not end-to-end rushes. When you watch NHL college hockey, they don't have that rule. And yeah, if you send PK or up ice and you only have 3 back to defend against 5, it makes it interesting.
So here's Hobson, who plays it in. New York does go with their second unit. Both their chances, they've gone faster to the second unit than we've seen at times this year. Here is Hobson, gives it back to Zandy Hart, plays it over for Woods, too far in front to get the slap shot, but does walk it to center. Giguère along the dashers, comes to the face-off dot, throws it on, it's knocked down in the slot before coming to the near side and hacked out of the zone.
You see Gigi Marvin killing penalties as well. We talked about her a little bit earlier. She was signed out of camp, and she's just been all over the ice tonight in different roles, making a difference for Boston.
Angelo knocks it out to center. Final seconds of the penalty time will come off. So Boston kills the penalty. They are 2 for 2 on the penalty kill today. Big hit there right on the blue line as Downey Landry connects with Keller. And now some pushing and shoving in front of the bench as Soderberg had to make a save there. And we play on. And now the whistle comes out. I think they may have blown that whistle earlier.
I'm really surprised that we did not get that hear the whistle at least from the beginning of that. And this all happens because Downey Landry takes a shot at Megan Keller, and Knight is not going to have that happen to her teammate. So she sees it and she takes exception. She comes right for it. So watch here, this hit from a little bit of the blind side kind of comes onto the back. Downey Landry seemed to hurt Keller a little bit, and so the retaliation comes with Knight coming back at Downey Landry, and so they're both go.
So matching roughing calls is what we're told. For Jade Downey Landry for New York and Hillary Knight for Boston. That is one of the added dimensions, though, to the game, because there is more physicality that is being allowed in the rules here in the PWHL than what you're used to in college games or national league or in professional leagues past. So it does create, even when a penalty is called, a little bit of a different dynamic.
Well, and what we just watched there is different than anything I've seen in a women's college game ever, right? That's not the kind of physicality that you see. That kind of stuff after the whistle doesn't happen as much. I personally enjoy that aspect of the game here. And just to see players be able to, you know, take care of their teammates and be able to have a little bit of a pushing match to make a message.
That is thrown right through from Morin. And Alex Carpenter comes out. So 4-on-4 hockey here for 135 after the roughing penalties. Carpenter lost an edge and a penalty is coming up. So Alex Carpenter was tripped.
This will be 4-on-3 now as, yeah, having quick Carpenter was driving towards the net and it looked completely accidental, but we'll get a look here. Oh yes, she gets her stick right across both skates. So Brown takes down Carpenter, and this will give New York a lot of space to work with a 4-on-3. And this is what makes Carpenter particularly dangerous. We saw how good she is in 3-on-3 when she has all that ice. A lot of times she will draw you in like she's going towards the net. That creates a space for her, and she'll just tee up a shot from the circle. And because she can score, she can pick the corners from mid-range like I was mentioning earlier.
She did that in that overtime 22 days ago. First big face-off goes to New York. Bourbonnais really lost the handle on it, but there's enough open ice she's able to collect. On this 4-on-3, as Bourbonnais plays it over Zandy Hart. Back for Bourbonnais straight on, with Brandt the closest to her. Alex Carpenter now. Really patient power play chance here on the 4-on-3 for New York. Carpenter with a lot of space over Zandy Hart, that's blocked. Brandt got her stick on it.
Really great defensive play by Brandt. Finding that shooting lane, she knew that's where she needed to rotate to, got there in time to make the block.
Carpenter brings it in once again. Behind for the trailer. Bourbonnais up high, and Soderberg is there. Picks it up in the corner. Hacked at by Megan Keller. Forced it to the line, but Bourbonnais holds it in, but it was deflected by Keller, and Boston again clears.
Good pickup by DiGirolamo. That puck was bouncing. It was completely on in, but she was able to settle it and get it out.
Carpenter spins away from Keller. Lays it across. It was maybe a touch too far for Shelton. And corrals it off the wall. Hobson and Shelton on the point. Abby Rock's been out there the whole way. Plays it across for Carpenter. Saved by Soderberg. Follow up by Shelton, blocked. G.G. Marvin blocked the shot. Another chance for Abby Rock. Comes in for Shelton. Hobson once more. Final seconds of the 4-on-3, and now we go to 5-on-4. Right out of the penalty box, Jade Downey-Lantry jumps right into the play. So 20 seconds remaining of 5-on-4 power play time here for New York. Shelton once more. Eldridge throws it on, and that is stopped by Soderberg.
Soderberg has made some really impressive stops recently, including this one that comes in tight. Carpenter was waiting there backdoor, but Keller able to pick the puck up off the pads of Soderberg. She was trying to dive on it, but Keller finding it first. And then this is the shot by G.G. Marvin, going down to a knee, diving, putting the body on the line, and she's the kind of teammate that would really do anything for Boston.
Pretty impressive how she's playing power play now. She's playing penalty kill now at the center spot.
And by the way, she might be coming to take our job. She's a broadcaster.
That's right.
She was broadcasting a Hockey East game the other day.
I think she's going to be okay here for a while. She's playing pretty well.
She's doing both.
Yep, absolutely. Well, we're back to even strength hockey. So Boston does enough on the penalty kill, and with 4:56 remaining here in the second period, a 1-0 lead, it remains for Boston.
Trying to just feed her down low, but the Boston defense, DiGirolamo and Keller did a great job denying her that pass across.
Squirts out, and a good chance. DiGirolamo that time from the blue line. Centering try. Brandt goes wide with it, and Jesse Eldridge was right there.
Coach Kessel talked to us about DiGirolamo before the game. She said over the last 2 games, she's really shown her growth, and she's been more physical, and you can see her coming into her own here. This game in particular, too, you see that improvement.
DiGirolamo steps up on it again after it looked like New York had a chance to clear. Knocked down on the wall, and it is forced to center. Giguère reaching back for it, nearly had a breakaway.
Healy just at the last second getting the stick on it to stop that breakaway. This line hasn't got a whole lot of time, especially because of the special teams, but Giguère is someone that can score in that kind of situation if you give her the space.
And she's the one in deep once again with a lot of green sweaters in the way. Giguère looking for help. D'Arcangelo all over her. Giguère does come all the way in, got in front, waiting, and scores! What a play by Elizabeth Giguère for her first goal of the season! And New York ties it 1-1.
Elizabeth Giguère was one of the best college hockey players I watched play back when she was in the ECAC, and you see her be patient with the puck on this. She goes around D'Arcangelo, keeps possession, waits for Soderberg to go down, and lifts the puck into the upper part of the net that was wide open because of that patience. And Giguère, a great finisher when she was in school. She hadn't had her first goal yet. I was surprised by that. I talked to head coach Howie Draper about, you know, this is someone that can score and help provide that depth scoring for you. They started her out in the top 6. Now she's been playing on the 3rd line in hopes of getting her more space on those matchups, but nice to see her get rewarded with her first goal of the season.
Former Patty Kazmaier winner. Actually, I think that Soderberg might have even had it graze off her glove, but couldn't quite secure it.
At
And
Clarkson,
a massive goal for New York.
sorry, Rick. At Clarkson, when Clarkson came into town, you knew you had to prep for
Yes.
Elizabeth Giguère in college. And I used to broadcast a lot of games at Yale, and that was certainly the case when she came to town there.
So now, all of a sudden, a 1-1 tie with 3:10 to go here in the second period. Mueller throws it on. That's a stick save by Levy with a lot of traffic in front of the net. And again, a story where even though you look at the shots right now, and they are heavily in favor of Boston, but it's New York trailing the game, once again coming from behind, in this case squaring at 1-1.
They weathered the storm, right? They weathered the 3 power plays that Boston had. They were able to, and a lot of this has to do with goaltending. Levy was able to stop a lot of those really key in-close opportunities for Boston, and either way, between the defensive plays and the goaltending, they were able to weather that Boston push and find a way to equalize it here in the second.
So 2:26 to go. Carpenter nearly had it turned over. Rattray reaching back for it. Still alive for Carpenter, and a pass forward for Downey Landry. Comes skipping in on Soderberg. Well, a lot of fans have certainly taken the opportunity on this Women's Trailblazers Day here at the Tsongas Center in Lowell. So great to see it every game. The number of young fans, the number of kids who are in attendance getting to watch their favorite players, and now have all of these players become Trailblazers in this inaugural PWHL season. They are watching a great game once again between these two teams. 1-1 with 2:03 to go in the second period. Downey Landry leaves it down the wall. Bourbonnet's shot is sticked aside by Soderberg. Bourbonnet plays it down once more. Ever since those power play chances for New York, the ice has felt like it's tilted a little bit. More even game in terms of shots after Boston was really dominant to begin the period. That gets through! They score! A lot of traffic in front of the net. Bourbonnet just throws it on, and New York has scored 2 in a row and takes a 2-1 lead.
This has been a resilient second period for sure from New York, as we'll get a chance to see the keep in out the point by Bourbonnet, and she just drives it towards the goal. This is more than likely going to get reviewed for goaltender interference just based on the contact that happened in the crease. It looks like Eldridge was right there out in front, but if you say that Kraken pushed her in, then obviously that would negate any sort of goaltender interference. It's not Eldridge's fault at that point. It doesn't look like they're going to look at it.
So just to confirm the run of traffic, again, all goals are reviewed in the PWHL. However, if it is ruled a good goal on the ice, they are just looking to confirm that. If you want to then look at a goalie interference, that has to come from a coach's challenge outside of the last minute of regulation. So, thus, no challenge here. They review it to uphold the call, but they don't review it for goaltender interference. They review it to make sure the puck literally went in. So that's why there's no review there, is there's no challenge from the bench. So New York has a 2-1 lead with 1:02 to go, and maybe more as Jaguar plays it backhand through, and it's picked up by Shelton in behind. Sends it onto the blue line, and Orard, who had an assist on that Jaguar goal, followed up just moments later, and it is Bourbonnet's goal, we're being told, at 18:28, so no deflection ruled as Bourbonnet scores. A chance here once again, and that is gloved down by Soderberg with 40.2 to go here in the second.
We'll take another look at this goal because we want to back it up just a little bit further to where the play starts. Bourbonnet, and yeah, it looks like Fratkin was really the reason why Eldridge ended up in the crease at all. Fratkin not allowing her to go out. They get tied up, and you see Eldridge falling backwards onto Soderberg at a really inopportune time. The puck was actually already in the back of the net at the time that Eldridge landed on top of Soderberg, so good goal. And New York taking the lead for the first time.
So Bourbonnet gets the goal, her third goal of the season from Jade Downey Landry, getting an assist. This is played in deep for Tapani, who does get a stick on it with 13 seconds remaining. Played on to Brown. Maybe a chance late here for Boston. Thrown towards the net. It just missed wide. Brown will swipe it across the crease. Maybe one more chance for Morin. That got deflected by Bourbonnet, and that will do it for the second period. Hannah Brandt, nice enough to join us here during the intermission. Hannah, again, a similar game where you guys have to feel like your chances are really good, even though trailing on the board right now. What's kind of the message on the offensive side right now?
Yeah, I think we're putting a lot of pucks on net. We're getting a lot of grade A chances, but we're going to have to find a way to actually put some in the net here going into the third.
Take us through your goal, the thought process to just throw that off the back of Levy.
Yeah, I mean, that's all skill, going backhand bar down. No, just kidding. I saw, I think it was Ratty in front of the net. I was just trying to give her a little soft pass into the slot area, and I don't even know what it hit. It went in, and I guess that's what it takes to get these goals. Just lucky bounces, I guess, sometimes.
And what will it take for you guys to come back, score in the third?
Yeah, I mean, keep doing what we're doing. We got to play a little bit tighter in the D zone here. We can't give up any more goals and find a way to bury some pucks.
All right, thank you, Hannah.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I mean, just look at this game, right? Abby Levy for New York. It's not even to say that the second goal. I mean, it just the goalie who hasn't played quite as much as Schroeder. Let's just call it that. As Rattray comes in, Keller will follow it up first. As Keller cycles all the way around, that one squirted through. Abby Levy last year for Boston College was second in the NCAA with a .947 save percentage. This one is played into the Boston defensive end. Fratkin plays it around to Alina Mueller.
Also, Tapani, that trade that Boston made was the first ever trade in the PWHL, and it was also pretty much, I think, the most impactful, biggest trade that's been made yet. We're coming up on the trade deadline later in March, but that trade to bring Tapani a top-line forward over, as well as another depth defenseman in Abby Cook, to send Sophie Jakes, who is one of the brightest young stars in the league, on defense to Minnesota, was just a huge shakeup in the conference, and you almost wonder how much we're going to see at the deadline if it's going to compare.
Here is Morin, who starts it in behind. It's turned over. Here's the centering pass right in front, and a backhand try by Woods. It's knocked to the corner on the near side. Woods' pass got deflected to center. 2+ minutes in here to this third period, a 2-1 lead for New York over Boston. We mentioned the trade deadline coming up March 17th. Be interesting to see how aggressive teams are. Everything is sort of new and feeling out the process early on in the season. And
you can't trade draft picks, so
right,
that makes it has to be a hockey trade, right? And you have to be compliant to the number of roster spots as well. It's completely different than when you look at the NHL deadline that just came and went.
Bouncing puck, Pelkey then lost her stick in the process, and Marvin plays it around the wall. Girolamo for Marvin once again. LaBelle came in, got a piece of it, but Boston keeps it alive. Shot from outside, oh, that got blocked. Came up high on Packer, who may have hurt her hand in the process, but has to stay out there. Pass comes through to DiGirolamo. He's been really involved in the offense today. Gerard up high. Levy fought it off, still loose in front, and it bounces over the bar.
It was Gigi Marvin that was coming in to make that play. Saw the puck open in the crease. Levy wasn't able to hold on.
Keep an eye on Madison Packer there, again, who took that initial shot block off of her glove. Saulnier in behind for New York now. Girolamo again the closest to her. Centering pass looking for Shelton. Shelton did manage to get a stick on it, but after advancing over the goal line. And Gerard back out for Boston. Problem that time for Levy. Again, a 2-1 lead for New York. Both scores inside of the final 4 minutes of that second period. 2 goals separated by 2 minutes and 2 seconds from Giguère and Bourbonnais. Turned back in by Taylor Baker. A ton happening here in the early going of the third period. That hit played along the wall on the far side. Of course, if you're New York, you're okay with the way this is going right now, playing up a goal.
Yeah, slowing things down, not letting Boston transition. You see another pass picked off by Downey Landry.
New York, who has won twice in this building already this year. Downey Landry, who scored 3 times in the first game between these two teams back on January 20th. Mueller dumps it in. Tapani back on it. Behind for Knight. She cycles around with this top unit. Knight's got it back from Mueller. It rolled off her stick momentarily before it was played on to Sydney Morin. Around for Mueller once more. So good from there, but Bourbonnais just makes a great defensive play to take Mueller out. Then a centering pass, they score! What a job by Boston to stay with that all the way. And it's Sophie Shirley who ties the game at 2.
Well, she's doing the right thing here, heading towards the goal, expecting that this pass might come back out in front. Tapany doing a good job shielding the puck. Sends it on the backhand to Shirley. Carpenter had lost her in coverage a little bit, kind of watching the puck, and then all of a sudden Shirley is in behind her. Downey Landry was there as well, wasn't able to get the stick on it, so Shirley found a little bit of space, got between the defenders and able to tie it up.
Second goal of the season for Shirley, her first since February 4th. She's come back the last 3 games now after missing 4 at the end of February.
And she was buzzing before she got that injury that took her out of the lineup.
This is turned over. Aurard is out front, and a good play by Morin to swipe the puck away. Nearly a quick answer, that time from New York. Played out wide, stick to side by Levy. Shirley tries to center up. Gable, kind of a no-look shot there on the ice, and Levy made a stick save. So it's not quite to the level of the first goal for Boston, which literally went in from below the goal line off of the back, but the play is made at the same spot on the ice. Boston on the forecheck ties the game 2-2. So it's Shirley who gets the goal from Tapany and Mueller at 5:20 of this third period. Mueller, that's now 10 assists, which came into the day tied for first. Her 9 assists were tied for first in the PWHL. So now moves into solo first for the moment with another game scheduled to go just underway.
She had a really hot start. She was up towards the top of the league in assists and points, and then she's gone a little bit quiet recently, and that somewhat has to do with the lineup changing that Kessel has done.
Played her out on the wing along with Tapany, had been in center. Yeah, you're right though, she only had 2 points in her last 8 games after scoring points in 5 of her first 6 to begin the season. And again, I think, you know, you've talked about it, we've made mention of it, the fact that as much as Boston we think of as having all of this skill, it is interesting when both of these goals have been kind of created turnovers underneath the goal line and just good work on the forecheck all the way through.
Yeah, the thing that they have in common, the 2 Boston goals, is that it starts with a one board battle.
Yeah.
The puck gets popped back out in front of the net, and that's really where plays happen. And whether in the case of Brant where it doesn't make it all the way back out in front, the Sophie Shirley goal is just proof that winning those board battles helps you get pucks on net, generate more offense.
Here is Knight who grabs it first. And again plays it down low for Elena Mueller. Looking to set somebody up, goes to Franken, who slides around for Megan Keller. Wade shoots, Tapany right there. Then a second try is stopped by Levy and got the third with her toe before it does squirt out to the near side. Knight is still down on the ice, tied up with Bourbonnais, whose stick was caught in with Knight there. Is Keller back to get it on the other end.
You could just see the strength of Tapany on that play. She was fighting for that puck. She got her own rebound, was not allowing Hobson to take the puck away, clear it out. You see her use her size. She's kind of a finesse player, but she's pretty big, and she showed her strength on that.
There is Teresa Schopsel in. University of Vermont product. It skips out to center. Vespa and Packer, who is back out there, by the way. Remember, she blocked that shot earlier off in the hand glove area. So 11:17 remaining in the third, and a 2-2 game between New York and Boston. Boston who scored the game's first goal, 2 in a row from New York in a span of 2 minutes and 2 seconds late in the second period before the tying goal from Shirley at 5:20 of the third. Pelkey starts it forward. Pelkey, and a save by Levy. Nice little move there to use the defender as a screen. Jaguar knocks it to center, but nobody there. Woods on the takeaway, couldn't keep it in the zone though, so New York has to tag up.
I think when we look back to some of the messaging from both coaches before the game, they got what they wanted. They wanted a full 60-minute effort from their teams. I would say both of these teams have played so hard with a lot of energy throughout the first. Now we're at just about 50 minutes of this game.
Jaguar got, that was Peyton Levis who got twisted around. Bouncing puck, Levis stayed onside is the ruling for now. And Abby Rock picks it up along the wall. Saulnier leaves it for Bourbonnais with a goal already. There is Hobson who's in deep. And a bouncing puck sets up a 2-on-1 for Boston. Here is Gable, waiting, shoots, and a glove save by Levy. Fight right now 2-2 with 9:39 to go here in the third period. As they start in the offensive end with Tapani, who set up a goal moments ago to tie it. Fratkin plays it around to Megan Keller. Back for Fratkin, straight on. Her shot got knocked down before it could get through. New York cannot clear the zone yet. Knight allows it to be played around. Tapani floats one, trying to find Alina Mueller, but could not get through all of those white sweaters in the way. Fratkin again comes down the wall. Here is Alex Carpenter, who had an assist on that second New York goal at the time to give New York the lead. Eldridge gives it out, Carpenter in, up high, and off the crossbar.
That is exactly what I'm talking about with Alex Carpenter, her range in that shot. A lot of times you expect the player to continue to drive to the net there. She had some space to do it, but instead she knows she can score from right here at the dot. Lifts it over and hits the crossbar. She's usually able to pick her corners perfectly. You see just a matter of centimeters between that going in and tipping up over the bar.
There are those that nick off kind of the outside of the bar, and then there are those that are that close. And that one was that close to giving New York the lead. As we play here with 8:37 remaining in the third period.
I'd say that's her best chance of the game so far.
Absolutely, yeah. Had the assist on that second goal, but otherwise, we've talked about it. One of the big things in this game is Boston has really done a good job taking out this New York top line. This trying to hack something towards the net. Grant got in the way. This is played to center by Emily Brown.
They've matched that Brandt line at times against the top line, but on that last shift, it was the Mueller line out there against Carpenter's line.
Marvin plays it on the backhand to center. Bourbonnais returns it right back in. This is Vespa off the wall. Has help, shoots it and missed wide. LaBelle picks it up behind the net. Packer plays it around. Bell actually took an odd bounce first before it got to LaBelle, before it was forced out to center ice with 7:37 remaining here in a 2-2 tie in the third. Cycles around for Bourbonnais. Pass was behind everyone and goes all the way down the ice. Last time these two teams played, they did go to overtime, but it was a late tying goal by Megan Keller to send us there. Here we're tied now. Set up one-timer. Shelton and a kick save by Soderberg. Shelton right back on it for New York. Walks the line, throws it towards the net. That pops straight up into the air and to the wide corner.
That was when Kalski out on the ice chopping that in the neutral zone. She's factored back into the lineup, the extra skater here in today's game. They opt to go with the extra forward rather than, they had been using Abby Cook as the extra defender.
Stuck on the near wall. Certainly been more chances for New York over the last few minutes. As we go to 6:26 remaining in the third. A lot of time at this end. And New York's got its top line out there. But it's Mueller who comes away with it, and here is Knight. Hillary Knight out front, leads it wide. Mueller's shot deflected wide. Eldridge does knock it out. So you're right, we have seen a little bit of a change here where we've been kind of top line on the ice against top line most of the way in this third period.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're putting two of the best defenders on Boston out there, Tapani and Mueller, some of the best in the league at being 200-foot forwards.
Turned over, Carpenter tries to get a shot away, sticked aside by Soderberg. Good work by Carpenter to even get that on goal. Eldridge now. Thompson couldn't quite knock it down, and it's Mueller. At the end of a shift here for Boston. Tries to lay it forward, icing is waved off. Under 6 minutes to go here in the third. Tapani, good work, creates the turnover. Rattray's pass was behind Schafzel. Does still manage to get it off the wall. Here is Rattray down low. Sets up Morin, shoots it on, looking for a tip, just missed wide. Some contact with Levy there as she got knocked down in the process.
Schafzel might have even got a little bit of that on the way through, but it went wide of the goal.
Hobson has it pinned in, Rattray digs it out for Boston. Pass sliding across, couldn't connect on it. Saulnier leads it forward for Levis. Stops and waits, it shoots up high, and it was too tall. Abby Rock in the corner. Was looking to set up Levis before Boston's back on it. Got a while here without a whistle. In a 2-2 game, late stages, third period in Lowell. Levis just does enough to get it forward. Vespa waits for help. Trying to pass it to the trailer, Fellman. What a good job by D'Arcangelo to knock down the puck. Boston's on it now with Gable. Comes in, leading forward, kick save by Levy. Shirley got knocked down at the end of that as well and was without a stick, so has to come to the bench. Vespa's out the other way on the near side for New York and got pinned in as Boston creates the turnover. Comes around for Keller. Plays it right back where it came from. There is a stick right in the middle of the high slot. Mueller's back on the ice reaching for it. Gerard couldn't get possession. Here comes Megan Keller back in. Keller leaves it behind for Knight, waits and shoots! A glove save by Levy. Time to look at the play of the game, brought to you by Athletic Brewing Company, and it is this effort by Elizabeth Jaguar.
Yeah, Jaguar gets in behind D'Arcangelo, and she's able to make this move. She goes west to east, right out in front of the crease, and lifts it over the glove of Soderberg, her first goal in the PWHL. A key moment, a turning point in this game.
Yeah, I think we talked about the power play chances that New York had and how it felt like that kind of spurred things, but you're right. I mean, sometimes it just takes a great player to make a great individual effort to sort of change the way things are going, and it felt like that was the case there.
Yeah, and it was with that line that had been somewhat rested. Jaguar plays a little bit on that second power play unit, but she hadn't been on the ice a whole lot before that. When she gets on, she's able to make an impactful play and really change the tide of this game.
And New York comes back in 2-on-2, 3:24 to go here in the third period of a 2-2 hockey game. Shelton plays it down the wall for Eldridge. Working away from Keller. Downey Landry was forced off, but Carpenter's right there. Excellent pass using the wall to get it to Shelton. And it's right back on Carpenter's stick. Knifes it forward, but Mueller was there. And Boston brings it out. Knight sweeps it away, 2-on-1. Knight is in, and a save by Levy.
She had Tapani going back door, but I like the idea. I like the idea to shoot there, actually. I don't think the pass was pretty much covered.
Knight coming right back in, trying again. Centering pass for Mueller. Got knocked off before Mueller's back on it in behind. Hillary Knight with space behind the net. Carpenter got her stick in the way. And Alex Carpenter knocks it out to center.
Now this is a line for Boston that you could use a nice individual effort, an individual play from someone like Hillary Knight.
2:26 to go, third period of a 2-2 game. Emily Brown retreats on it with pressure from New York. Rock, I got her stick caught there, couldn't advance forward on the play. Here is Schafzel. Plays it back to Moore and throws it on with traffic there. Got knocked down. Throw towards the net. And Levy dives on top.
Rattray had it. She found the puck, low slot, able to get a stick on it. She's frustrated with herself is what you're seeing at the end of that play. Point shot by Moore and hit Rattray. Brent jumped over it in order to give her a chance to shoot it on goal, and Rattray knows she had an opportunity, but let's take a look at the way that Levy was able to slide back over just in the nick of time. She lost it for a moment, but she recovered.
It's a really good job by all involved. 2 minutes to go here in the third. Feels like both teams are having chances right now. No real advantage either way.
I would say both of these teams are playing with desperation, and that is what both their coaches wanted.
Heard those buzzwords all week from these coaches. Desperation, urgency, jumping out from the start. And they have felt like they've done that.
Yeah, when your team has lost more games than it's won recently, those are the words you're going to hear. You're going to hear you need more energy, you need more urgency, and you need to play a full, consistent 60 minutes. And even though this game has had its ebbs and flows, I really have thought that both teams have given it a great effort.
Boston, who's dropped their last 2 games. New York, who's winless in its last 4. Here's a centering try in front. Levy's there again. Grant set it up. Rattray had another shot at it.
She's all over it in the last few minutes here, and that's where you'll find her. She goes to the net again. This time sealing the post there, getting the arm down to clamp this puck as it looked like it was going to go under the armpit by Rattray. It was kept out.
So 1:08 is all that remains in this third period. It's Keller's goal at 1:04 that tied the game the last time these two teams met. And it's Keller back on it. Throws it in deep for Hillary Knight. Extends beyond her as we go under a minute here in the third period. 2-2 game between Boston and New York. Icing waved off. Bourbonnais and Knight back for it. Arard does get it out to center. Woods' pass was too far for Jaguar. For Tapani. It bounces off the wall to the captain, Sandy Hart. Carpenter forward. Great pass over for Arard. Chloe Arard stops and shoots. It's deflected too high. Picked up the near side and turned over. Eldridge still on the puck for a while before Keller made a good play to just slide it to the corner, as Eldridge was kind of 1-on-3 there. Comes loose to the near side. 5 seconds remaining in the third period. One more chance. Carpenter missed it wide, and that will do it. Regulation not enough once again between New York and Boston. And to overtime we go at the Tsongas Center. So we start the 3-on-3 overtime. 5th time in overtime for Boston. They're 2-2. New York is 4-2 in overtimes this year. They've gone to a shootout twice as well. Tapani back to get it to start for Boston. Both of these teams winless over their last couple of games. Boston had dropped 2 in a row. New York 3 straight and winless in their last 4. Tapani comes in. Goes wide, throws it on. Sticked aside by Levy to start. Tapani reaching forward away from Shelton. We've seen in the 3-on-3, both teams will be extremely patient, willing to give up the zone in order to reset a bit.
It's all about possession, so
That's
you don't
right.
want to turn it over.
Shirley comes in, a goal scored, throws it back. What a save! Then the rebound try up high, and Levy fought off 2 in a row on this Shirley, Knight, and Emily Brown grouping.
That last one kind of stunned her a little bit. It caught her up high. She let the rebound bounce back out in front of her, but Shelton was able to grab it.
So Shelton will start up for New York and cycle back. Each of the first 3 shots of the overtime belong to Boston. to 44 now in the game compared to 23 on the other side. Eldridge comes in with speed. Brown got a piece of it, but Eldridge is right back on it. Cycling around to the middle. Eldridge leaves it for Zandy Hart. Here is Downey Landry. Rattray the closest to her, that's taken away. Out front is Hannah Brandt. Behind for Rattray, save, rebound, score! It's been the best line all day, and Brandt sneaks in to give Boston the overtime winner.
That's their first win against New York this season. It comes in overtime on this 2-on-1 rush. Brandt able to finish it. She scored the first goal in an unconventional way, but she scores the overtime game winner on a good finish out in front of the net.
Rattray and Brandt have been outstanding all game long, and they find the winner for Boston.
Starts with a turnover. Brandt able to take the puck up. She drops the pass unselfishly to Rattray, and her shot goes off the pads of Levy right to Brandt on the opposite side, and she makes no mistake. She puts it home. Levy was completely out of position, and Micah Zandy Hart tried that diving play to stop the pass across. She was unable to impede the play, and she was frustrated after that one. She threw her stick, and as a result, Boston taking the overtime win.
So our Canadian Tire player of the game is Hannah Brandt, who scores 2 goals today, including the overtime winner. And Boston